So, this is my first YouTube video, and I'm coming at you right now with a message, and I hope it can be received by many, and this is what I'm feeling in currently. So, before I go into the message, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Samantha, and I'm 31 years old, and I've been on this new journey or this new life path where I'm trying to put myself out there and put my beliefs into the world, and and try to effect change in a positive way. But there's a problem, and the problem is the world that I reflect currently, and that's a world of resistance. So for a while I've been resistance to my truth and resistance to other things in my life. And because I have been in such a resistance, it caused me a great deal of pain, and it caused the people that I love pain. So let me tell you the point of this video. I am considered a person who have lived many lives, who travel throughout cultures. I can trace my lineage back to different cultures. I consider myself an enlightened being. I also consider myself a star being, or a starseed, as you would, as well as a twin flame. So there's so many things that I want to say at this very moment, and I'm just going to put it out there. At current, you would define me as a black woman, or a woman of ethnic descent. And I feel that my existence on Earth at this particular time in human history is very important. I felt this from since I was very little. I felt that I had a calling. I had this longing, this desire to be free and to express who I am. And, these things were manifested in different areas of my life. And I would have these really extraordinary moments where it's like, how did that happen? And I also had my low moments. I lived a very privileged life. And for that, I still hold some naive aspect within myself. Something I am also working on. But it all comes through our experience. And so, saying all that, my ancestors came through slavery. We know of the transatlantic slave trade and how different ethnic communities were forced into slavery, were against other nations. And they suffered, they died, they wailed, they cried, they lost their possession, they were whipped, they were burnt, they were hanged, they were tortured, they were persecuted. Every negative, painful thing that a human can go through, the black race had experienced it. These people were starved. They were infested with diseases. They were meant to live like animals and systems. Fast forward some 400-500 years later, we have systems that are in place to continue to, keep us at a certain level where we don't progress. It's very seldom you find a black person progress in society. And yes, in America, there's so many opportunities. There is also not so pleasant experiences that come with those opportunities, right? And The whole idea, as I knew it, that we should all try to live a life in alignment and balance. But I know the truth is not meant for everyone. But I just listened to a video on Teal Swan and she just blew me out of the water. And she looked at polarity as a disconnect from God. And that true alignment comes when we learn to integrate both light and darkness, both the masculine and the feminine aspect of ourselves, both black people and white people. This is the current environment, the current earth that we are shifting towards. Prior, we were in separation from God, and because we were in separation from God, we were in separation from ourselves. And we be in separation from ourselves, we're in separation to our neighbors and our communities, in our countries, in our islands, in our cities, in our towns, and even in our own homes. And that separation created chaos, it created pain, it created bloodshed, it created wars, it created famine, it created destructions. But these are all the played out of the human psyche. And so Mother Gaia and all the powers that be is like, enough is enough. Now let's work towards integrating with each other. How do we work with each other? Because the idea of finding balance comes with integrating the light and the darkness within. But we don't seem to do that currently. We fight, actually. We fight. It's like a constant push and pull. And I currently live on the island of Anguilla. I moved here 3 years ago. And 3 years on, I know that God has put me in this place for a reason. And by looking at this society and be raised in this society and come back and work within this society, it made me, I am angry. Yes, I'm angry and frustrated, but at the same time, this is the output of the collective energies from post-slavery. The people on this island are suffering from mental illness. Majority. They're in denial. There is jealousy, and jealousy is illness. There is greed. There is also trickery. There is murder. There is a disconnect between the young people and the older generation. And the genuine respect and love and camaraderie and brotherhood, and I'm saying genuine, and I'm not, the genuine love, brotherhood, togetherness, and camaraderie is not there. But they put on a front. Like I said, they like to live in denial. They put on front, and during certain celebrations where they, wear their shirts and participate in their sports and their cultural festivities and get intoxicated because, hey, they have a mental illness, so they're going to be masking their pain. This is what their festivities are used for. Temporary mask their pain. And so I feel like I've been positioned to help this country move forward in a more positive way, where both the light and darkness within themselves and within each other can be balanced out, and it can, move towards a more harmonious way of being. I would estimate the current population is at least 30,000 So here, everyone knows everyone, and there's issues of incest. And another issue that's so passionate to my heart, and this is the lack of respect for girls and young women. And this is coming from both women and men. Young girls are being prostituted, they're being molested, they're being raped by people who are close to them, usually family friends or fathers or stepfathers or uncles. And they're police officers, and then you have people in positions of power that take advantage of the vulnerable, because this is an island, this is a British colony that's in the middle of the Eastern Caribbean, which is at least 4 hours away from New York, and about under an hour to Florida. So we're in good proximity to the US. And so we heavily rely on the American tourism industry and the US dollar to keep our economy going. After that, people have become dependent on the US dollar, and people have become whoremongers. And the goal is to have money. That is the goal, regardless of how they achieve the goal. Right? And so during that process, people are hurt in the process. People lose good people around them in the process. But then at the same time, it's like they all feed into the same toxic energy.